$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Give me a second here. I got issue here. I'm not sure what's going on here. That's better. I don't know. I don't know about that. Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. To my Rahim here, the covenant, breaking 7 seals. I said the same. I'm going to get into the war. If my calculations are correct, brothers and sisters, again, it's up to Master Muhammad, but my calculations correct. Any day now. Any day now. This time I've been working for 35 years. The war resumes, Middle East, any day now. We're going to be at war. Be at war. When that war starts, we start, you're going to be at war here. Great apocalypse. Again, it's just one phase of it. That's the European phase. Great apocalypse. War resistance. War to prevent you from rising. It's such a great rise that it will be an unprecedented war. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Probably need a short version today. There's a lot to talk about, but let's see what happens. And we got the mouth. You know, Joshua's the one. Read Exodus. See, those people over there, I'm not going to get into it, brothers and sisters, but those folks over there, they will be asked. And if you didn't take time, you waste time to ask. Most of them was not even, no point in asking. And just show me one verse in the Bible or Quran that supports that crap you said about Farrakhan. Show me one verse in the Bible or Quran, they're not going to be able to. And that's it. We're closed. They show they're liars. And they lie on Allah. In the name of Allah, they proceed to lie. Because they can't find one verse in the Bible or Quran to justify what they're saying about Farrakhan. They find plenty of verses. Aaron, Peter, many verses. Even in the Quran. When Moses returned, Elijah returned, he wanted to kill him. But no, he's the Messiah for us. Well, he is the Messiah for the demons. But he is the Messiah for the demons. That he is. He's their Messiah. We know where they're heading. Like I said, to the extent that we even speak them at all, because it's not even necessary. Because I just ask one question, that's the end of it. It's the case closed. They can't. Tell me one verse that supports what you're saying. In the Bible or Quran, just one verse. That's why you don't stand collect that $5,000. See? I mean, really, all you got to ask, did you get the 5? You know about the 5? Yeah. Did you get it? No. Why not? You didn't waste time even do that. More brothers and sisters.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
They are guilty of that. They never mentioned the message of the covenant. It's right there in Malachi. Never mentioned Joshua. It's right there in Exodus. The one that takes us home after Aaron is laid to rest. Him and his followers are killed. He's representing the covenant, right? They talk about Exodus, right? But they don't read that part. They even part of the book and discipline the other. They read Malachi, but they don't read about the message of the covenant. They read about the Abrahamic covenant. They don't read the covenant. They return home. In fact, they deny all three of them. We're not going anywhere. Elijah's the last one. And Aaron, that's it. He's the Messiah. So they call him Message of Covenant, call God a liar, because he said Message of Covenant coming. He said, no, he ain't going. Ain't nobody. Elijah's it. Right? They lie about the covenant. They say, we ain't going nowhere. They lie about Joshua. No, after Aaron. No, they didn't mention Joshua. Right there. Case closed.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flavor as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color.
Yeah.
It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground in unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family. Let's stay a family, be a family, and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. I had to do that. We love you. One more time, brother.
I guess they never read that in the Quran. Forbid Muslims to be friends with Christians and Jews. Because they read that. See, they claim the Quran. You know, you have to see, brothers and sisters. What's going to happen to them? They will be crying They'll be on their knees begging, crying blood. No, literally. They're going to be in so much fear, so much pain, because what they're doing, this had nothing to do with Elijah Muhammad. If they pull that kind of, if there was a temple, Elijah Muhammad found out there was a temple out there saying that kind of stuff, you have any idea what would have happened? What would happen to them? Elijah Muhammad wouldn't have to say anything. If the brothers just found out. They wouldn't have to say anything. What would happen if they did something? Find me one verse, anything Elijah said, anything Matt Muhammad said in lessons, message black, anything to support, anything close to what he said. Just totally opposite. More brothers and sisters, sick, man. Worst part of my mission. Oh. What a shitstorm. It's part of resistance, brothers and sisters. That gold mine, you gotta swim through that lake of shit to get it to it. Oh man. Oh yeah, but it's surrounded by a lake of shit. It's the only way you're gonna get it. That's what they've done to us. Yeah, look at it. You gonna tell me that had anything to do with Elijah Muhammad? Kissing bells? As Muhammad said there, 100% wicked cannot be reformed. Take him off the planet. He's saying that in the name of Allah. Then he say Master Muhammad is Allah. And he's making babies in everybody's womb. Oh. Down to the bottom line, the Benjamins, like somebody buying a snow farm. They realize spring coming. They're buying an ice farm. Now they're gonna sell ice. They don't realize spring is on the way. Yeah, man, I'm investing in ice, man. Oh, cold out here, man. I'm investing in ice. Look at all this, man. I'm investing. Get all this ice, man. I could make a lot of money, man. They don't realize spring is coming. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. If you see what I see, some of us understand could be laughing, but they're gonna be crying tears of blood, and there's not gonna be no mercy. He said most grievous chastisement. I'm laughing, but they think they got something. Trump fitting everybody. He's gonna be on his knees in a minute. He's gonna be on his knees too. He's gonna be on his knees. You'll see it before they're gonna adopt him in the end. He's gonna be on his knees begging all these nations. Oh, please help me. When they get this war resumes, they get their ass kicked out of there. That's the beginning of their fall. Right into Armageddon, and it's boom, 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 go straight down. Everything just nothing works. Everything's like I said, lead the line and run to the bear. I think I'm having it backwards, right? The bear run. It just gets worse and everything just backfires worse and worse and worse. You're gonna be begging on your knees. Oh, China, India, Venezuela, please come and help us. And they're gonna sanction them. Sanction America. No, you can't. You can't buy it. You can't get anything from us. We don't want anything you have. Give it to us free. Please, no. Watch. You're on his knees begging the nations. Please help us. Oh, yeah, look, another guy, is it this? Everybody's like cracking up. Oh, what's going to happen? We play it back to them. They don't want to see it. They pull their own eyes out just to keep them seeing that again. You have no idea. It says some people will be eating their own flesh. If you eat your own flesh, can you imagine that? How hungry you can be to eat your own flesh? I mean, eating your own children, that's bad. I mean, you know, but eating your own flesh, I mean, it takes some awesome. Your children, I mean, it was, for some of them, it wouldn't matter anyway. Eating your own children. Okay, let's get into a couple of things and get right into it. Race war, warlord. Okay. Understand this. Now, they're totally against Scripture. Scripture says, we're going home. It's clear. Every Scripture says that. But perhaps we're not going where he don't want to leave it. But he's not going anywhere. It's true. This war, when this war starts, brothers and sisters, depending on what side you're on, you're going to be at war for years. You're at war right now. Just gain knowledge of self. Remember, your mind. That's what the war you're at right now. Get your mind back. Then you got to get yourself back. Then you got to get your nation back. And that's part of getting getting our women back. But they're not with us right now. They go to the motions. They don't feel safe with you. You gotta get their confidence, their love, and their respect back. Got our nation back. Got our freedom back. Take our land back. Take the earth back. Take the universe back. Make an owner, cream of the planet with God universe. We got a lot of work to do, brothers and sisters. And Joshua was told, you the one got to get that done. Because he told Joshua, said, hey, okay, there's a promised land, go get it. Master Muhammad is not going to do it for you. Jesus is not going to do it for you. Shiva is not going to do it for you. Buddha's not going to do it for you. He says, you might return to get thorough knowledge of self. He say, get home, so we give it. No. He said, you get home. We give you thorough. He said, no, you home. You go home, return, home, return. Well, I'm stand here, stand at home. If you have thorough knowledge of self, that means you got to get knowledge of yourself back. And you don't have that. And you're not prepared for this war. That's why some of you be lost for lack of knowledge. So that's one of my endeavors days. And from this point on, we're going to try to get you prepared. For those of you that's got your ears and eyes open, start getting ready. Move on. Now, first, one thing you need to understand here, brothers and sisters, that this condition you're in, you didn't put yourself in this condition. If you're a bloom and you're underwater, somebody's holding you underwater. So our first step is to break their goddamn foot. Break their goddamn foot. Get out from underwater. But Farrakhan says he blamed us for being underwater. He ain't blaming the ones that put us underwater because he with them. He loved them. He liked the way they are. He wants to stick with them because he's one of them. See, we're underwater. You can't blame us being underwater if there's a foot holding underwater. You blame us if we have power to break that damn foot, and we don't. If we lack the foot, we start kissing the foot. We got to break that goddamn foot that's holding underwater. That's phase one. That's where we are right now. It's coming up. This battle right now. I've been at this battle for 35 years. Muhammad, right? was his battle. That's Master Muhammad. He started the battle. And it's the opposite. No, we like this because it's our fault. Yeah. Ain't the footage. We was like being underwater. It's impossible for that balloon to stay underwater by itself. It's impossible. Let me say it again. It's impossible for that balloon to stay underwater by itself. Its nature is to be above water. It's got air in it. So if it's underwater, something's pushing underwater. So you destroy that, and then you're back to yourself again. So that means you have a battle. And the resistance is the foot. It going to resist us getting up out of the water. So we got to break the goddamn foot, destroy it. One. See, you can't go to battle unless you know what the battle is. Let me say something else before I forget, because I keep it coming to mind, I keep coming and going. You have to just study and know the flood. See, you think it's water. No. It's a flood of energy. It's a great big burst of energy coming. I'm going to do a graphic on that one, right? So what happens is that the energy affects everybody differently. Everybody gets the same amount, but it affects them differently. So those who master that energy, get control of it, they rise above the energy. They rise above their condition. And the ones that can't are crushed by it. Because it's all pressure. It's all pressure. That's why the people on top, it inspired them, but the ones under it, they got crushed. That's what's happening right now. So and the point is that you can step back. You don't need the energy. You can step back and just watch. If you have the ability to step back and watch without being affected, just watch how everybody reacts. Then you know who they are, what structure they are. You know, oh, that's a Lamborghini. Oh, that's a Volkswagen Beetle. That's a BMW. Because how it affects them. It's like you see the wind blowing. You can tell how strong the leaves are about how fast they're moving. Small leaves move real fast. Big ones, man, they hardly move at all. If you get that wise enough to understand that, let's move on. Like accusing our brethren, he's accusing us of being in this condition. He ignored the fact that this is what caused that condition. Once you get rid of this, that condition no longer exists. Move on. Here's another graphic. I'm getting to the main point in a minute. Here, right now, their power is greater than ours. Because we don't have discipline. It takes discipline. They tell you, they keep telling you, Lord, obey the law. And this, when they tell you, read scripture, it says, if you obey the law, it's what happens to you. If you don't obey the law, so why is it law? Don't say, if you get a gun, if you get a bomb, if you worship Jesus or pray, no, don't say that. It says, don't even say pray. It says, obey the law. If you obey His law, boom, all these things will happen to you if you don't. And the law is discipline. You don't have discipline now because you're not obeying the law. And the son tries to divert you to the law of Moses. That's not the law Elijah Muhammad taught. That's a qualitative law. The law is the 5 pillars. That's the gym. Whether you obey your mother and father or not, right? That does not give you power. It's a little bit mismatched. There's also a little crossover there back and forth, but that's not what gives you power. Whether you're nice or rude, whether you're rude or nice, or whatever, that's not give you power. The devil's got power, and they none of that. They don't obey it. We're their mother and father. Look how they did us. They still say, how do you get power? The power is because, being rude, being nice. No. Pray. They pray. All that stuff. How do you get power? Some pray, some don't pray. Some of the worst ones don't pray at all. So how do you get power? It's not based on that. It's based on discipline, which they drop is disappearing like mist. and sunset, and then the sunrise. That's why he keeps saying prophecy. Prophecy come what? The law, the law, the law. How come prophets will come and bringing guns? Prophets will come and bringing flying saucers or swords and stuff. They come to bring in the law. When they obey the law, they turned the law down for 1,000 years when they went to Catholicism. Catholicism, you don't have to obey the law, just believe in Jesus. They already tried that. They did that for 1,000 years. We just believe in Jesus. And what? They lived in the dark age for 1,000 years. That's chapter 20. They lost power for 1,000 years until they went back to the Old Testament, the law. Because remember, they said, oh, under Jesus, we don't need to obey the law no more. What happened to them? The Europeans, for that 1,000 years, when they went to that philosophy, we don't have to obey the law. We believe in Jesus. What happened to them? And then when they dropped that and went back and said, okay, we're going to obey the law, and all of a sudden, now they took over the planet. That's history. See, but they confuse you now because they tell you, oh, well, they teach you obedience, not law. Obey your master. Do what the master tell you to do. They don't teach you law. They don't teach you law. In fact, they teach you against law. Oh, have party, let hang out. Get your hottie. Let's smoke a little reefer. Oh, man, why you eating one meal a day? What's wrong with you, man? Let's pig out, man. Let's go get us a pizza. Let's get some breakfast, man. What's wrong with you eating breakfast? Are you sick or something? They teach you. And so you're not bent. That's why you're powerless, because they teach you powerlessness. Powerlessness. Elijah Muhammad started teaching you the law. He didn't teach you the 10 Commandments. I was there. That's the lie they tried to tell Sunday. He didn't teach the 10 Commandments. I don't think he ever mentioned it. Easy would have mentioned it. The years I was there between 70 and 75. Nobody ever mentioned anything about the 10 Commandments. Yeah, 10 Commandments are good laws, yeah. The qualitative laws, that's how we should react to each other. There are power laws. The 5 pillars are power laws. It's the power gym. Like you know all about a gym, but you need a gym, right? To go in and do, you know how the gym works, but you need the machine to go and start doing stuff. So you need the pillars to show you, hey, you start applying that, and all of a sudden you start having power. Start looking good too. Okay? So here, see all the pressure on us, because they got power, we don't have any. My job, what's going to happen, it's going to happen. This happen. But see, you got to understand how things work. So we start growing, and we have great oppression them, and now we oppress them. That's just the way it is, brothers and sisters. They're going to be oppressed by us. You say, oh, we're going to know. Even if we try to be nice to them, it'll still be oppressive. Because they're going to do it the way we want to do it. You don't bring no dogs around here that way. That's oppressive for them. We're going to make, first of all, we don't even have the laws. 5 pillars, we call that laws, discipline. But normally, the only law we ever had was law against married reproduction with close relatives. That gets back into the gender thing. Other than that, it said in Scripture, the law is in your heart, your nature. Because you're the God of the universe, you don't need any laws. We tell you what to do. You need do a bird in your law. They don't find out laws, don't they? Do they have a constitution? The snakes have a constitution. See? They need laws. Only reason they need laws, they didn't even have them before. Wait a minute, think about this. When did they start all this law stuff? The laws they have. When they got hold of us. To make sure we obey them. Otherwise, they were doing their thing. Yeah, the king, whatever the king said, that was what went down. All this constitution, everything's so great. No, that's to keep you under control. Identify you. So we know, hey, if they don't act like this is the way cats act. If you didn't act like that, you must be a dog. If you act like these laws here, because laws, when you make laws, the laws are based on your nature. So if you obey those laws, then if you're not obeying those laws, there's something wrong with you. You must be, you're in dog land. You must be a cat. You must be a raccoon, something. You ain't no dog. Or you're a sick dog. Because why else you need laws? I mean, why do we need laws? Do we have laws before we came here? We was doing fine. Right? Our discipline was built in. We have laws, constitution before we came. We were doing fine. We had great empires, powerful, healthy, happy. So it's all this law stuff. This law is to keep you under control, but you don't realize it. It's like you're employed, but you're still a slave, but they call it employee, so you feel like you feel good. Employee's a slave. So therefore, because now we're going to apply our nature. The universe, the world, Earth's going to conform to our nature, which is against them. So they're going to feel oppressed under our system. But we ain't going to let them act like they want to act. You're in our house. They have to be comfortable in our house. Because the stuff they want to do, you can't be doing that in our house. We act like we want you to act. Well, I only say it that way. You got to act like we act. Because you're going to go, you make us uncomfortable. You're going to mess up. You're going to go out here and eating pig and stuff. Remember that stuff around us? But that's what you're going to want to do. So they would do anything to keep that from happening. You see? See, they understand some of these things. They'd do anything to keep them happening. Wouldn't you? So for you to go, like Mama said, for one nation to rise, another one falls. That's another way of saying that. They've been under our authority. They've been our God, so they have to act according to the way we act. And that's oppressive for them, oppressive. Then you realize they're not brothers and sisters. Those laws are designed to keep you under control, identify you. Otherwise, they wouldn't need them. They never had them before. Let's move on. Men's heart failing them for fear of expectation. I'm going to talk about this a little more later. For those coming upon the earth, the powers of heaven, she can identify heaven. Heaven scripturally is the Middle East. And what's happening over there, it's going to get a lot worse in a minute. When that war resumes, it's going to be a bloodbath. Right now, you got a genocide. Now you got a race war going on right now. They want to call it genocide. It's a race war. You got Europeans call themselves Jews are attacking Arabs. Arabs are half brothers. You know what they call them? They didn't want to tell you that stuff over here. Go check it out. They call the Arabs desert niggers. So they know the truth. They know that they are half brothers. We see Abraham, so are they. But they betrayed us. And that's why I call them desert niggers. And they hate us more than they hate them. So now they're already getting practice on taking our brothers out. But we ain't helping because that's on y'all. Y'all betrayed us. Don't pardon us. You didn't do a thing to help us out. But that's what's happening. It's a race war going on right now. You see the sparks of it. It's coming here. Famine's coming here. It's going to be there. It's going to be a religious war. When they go to war, the Sunnis going to go along with America, Britain, and false Israel. So they all going to be allied against Iran. Syria. Well, I should talk about. Maybe I won't. Because that's going to surprise you. But the bottom line is, right, Syria's going to rebound. But anyway, the thing is, just look at Iran. They're going to take over the Middle East. You're going to have a Shia Sunni bloodbath. They're going to soak the sands with blood. I mean, it's going to be soaked. Religious war. Race war, religious war, economic war. Who did the economic war? The Europeans and America them against Iran because Europeans totally depend on that oil. It says their economy is going to collapse overnight, instantly. So you got economic, you got all three labels there. It's coming here. Economic war, race war, religious war. It's coming here in spades. You're going to be at war in a few days, brothers and sisters, and this war is going to go on for a while. It'll be over in a couple of days. But we got a lot of battles. Remember, Joshua is a warlord. He led battles. God said, hey, only thing God said, I got your back. I mean, he was in the clouds. Make sure they didn't pull something unexpected. He was in the clouds. Why read the story? He made Jay food. He supplied with food and stuff. He didn't do the battling. Joshua did the battling. Farrakhan. What'd you do, Farrakhan? You're not going to be part of this. You're going down in the first battle. You're going to be done. You and your people is going to be destroyed in the first battle. You're going to be defeated in the first battle. Right here. Because once we pull ourselves, in the process of pulling ourselves together, we're going to destroy you. Because you're part of the reason why we all divided. Look at that in a minute. So you're going down, you ain't going to see, that's far as you going. So you one of the first casualties of this war. Pressure tension exerted on the material object stress. Stress, brothers and sisters. Stress, of course, you put a rubber band, put on stress that way. Usually they think stress is pressure, but tension is opposite of pressure. Right now, people are under great stress. If you read stress, right? If you read it up, it says black folks in America, they say black folks, we're talking about original people, under more stress, have more strokes than anybody, any ethnic group in America. Because we in amongst the people that's alien to us. Remember I told you, under them, we're under pressure because we got to act like them to get along with them. How do you know you act like them? What's your name? Carol Jennings? Jim Buster Butt? What's your name? What's your religion? Christianity. What's your language? English. Is that you? Who's that movie? What is that? That's you, Peter? What is that? Was that you? You had to be turned totally around. You had to be destroyed and remade to get along with them. Because they hated you as you are. When you hate something, you change it. The more you hate it, you change it. You change to get rid of it. So if you change 100%, means when you change 100%, I tell you right there, they hate you. Why you got? Oh, because they pat you on the head. They get a little jobby, a little credit. Oh, you can get some credit. You can buy his house. It's gonna take you 30 years to pay it off, right? And you in his job, you better do good at his job because we're gonna give you credit because you ain't making that much money because you working at Popeyes, working your ass off. The person owning the place, they ain't doing anything, but you making business for them. You think you're not a slave? And you never thought, look at you. It changed you 100%. Changed us 100%. They show they hate us 1%. They try to change back to what happens. All of a sudden you ain't wearing the Popeyes no more. Oh, my name is Abdul Rahman. Oh, yeah, okay. Try Richard Fire. Try that one. Try that one. Try the name on. Try to buy a house, homeowners association. I've been there. All of a sudden you can't get approved. That's illegal, but they get away with it. Because who's gonna spend the money to fight them? They don't let you in there. Because you got to come in, your name got to be Dickhead Applebaum. You can have a crust come out your ears, out your ass, out your mouth, every place. I mean, I see people cross all over the place. Cross on the ears, on your nose. Man, damn. Oh, they exes about that, about they built that brass serpent cross. You had to go along with that in the Exodus. But you don't see that. Because you can't see that. If you do see that, that's going to upset you. Because you're already under stress. See, that kind of knowledge will get you out of stress, but oh, man, that's stressful. Michael Jackson, he had a lot of money. Because he was under stress. It's about pressure. Money don't offset pressure. It's a lie. What happened to Whitney? What happened to Prince? They all have money. It's a deception. And we're going to teach you how to handle that. Not how to just master it. It ain't L. Ron Hubbard bullshit either. Let's move on. You see here, right here? This is panic. Maybe not good graphics. This state, everybody's going to be in a couple of minutes. Panic. Shock of the hour. Because when you say war resume over there, it's going to not be like you expect. It's going to change everything. The whole world's going to change. Economically. You know, America, what, $72 trillion in debt? America's already bankrupt. They can't tell you that. All your tax money is going to pay off the interest. They got to borrow money to pay interest. How long can that last? So they're intimidating countries to keep buying it, lending the money. Like a gunslinger, you know, in the West. These are best shot, and everybody's scared. The sheriff, everybody's scared of them. They keep lending them stuff. Oh, you ain't gonna lend me no food. Oh, here, man, you can have something. You get shot. Nobody's gonna mess with them. See? That's the only thing keeping him. He's bankrupt, but when he's using his military, his strength, right? Bullying. What if he gets sick? Oh, man. Gets sick, they're going to tear his ass up. They're going to never get back up. That's happening right now. America's about to slip. You don't understand these things. One of the reasons why America's focused on China, not because of China. They can't tell you that. Because China, they owe China the most money. If you kill a person you owe money to, you don't owe them money anymore, do you? America's, they're broke. They don't know how to get out of debt. This tariff is not going to do it. Look it up. I think it's $72 trillion debt, something like there. And the interest on that debt is all the money they get for taxes. So they got to borrow more money to keep everything going. How far can they do that? Country say, I can't lend you more money, man, because you ain't going to be able to pay it back. I told you a story about King Louis of France, I think it was. He owed a Knights Templar a ton of money because they was very rich. So they lent him a lot of money, and his country's about to go under because and so if he paid them off, he couldn't pay them anymore. He couldn't pay the interest. So he called them all in to see if we can negotiate agreement. Okay, they said, yeah, okay. Because, you know, they want somehow to figure out how to get their money back. Once he got all these together, he killed them all, burned them all up. They're dead. That's why they got to go to war with China. At least they think. If they go to war with China, they won't kill their debt. America has to go to war to get out of the debt. They have no choice. But that's not to say they ask. That's what on them their way of thinking. That's what he said. That's their level of thinking. So you're gonna be in panic in a minute. Economics going. The amount's going to clap. The point is that it's going to go. How is it going to go? Go fast or slow? It's going to go. It's going to go super inflation. Also, of course, things are going super inflation first. Because they said they're going to throw the gold and silver in the streets. Why are they going to throw the gold and silver in the streets? Because it says And it's going to happen that way in America. Over in Europe, it's going to collapse one all together. Well, they said people pay enormous amount of money for bird shit. I'm gonna find that verse. It says in the Bible. They ain't nothing else still. Bird shit better than nothing. Yeah, they had us eating shit, big shit. We think chitlins are. Say up here, after my. The point is, all that gold, silver, it'd be worthless. A piece of bread costs you $1 million. You know, something like that was similar happened in Germany after World War I. That's how Hitler came to power. It's another story. I'm not going to it now. I'm going to it all the time. But inflation got so bad that they have a barrel, you know, those wheelbarrows. It took a whole barrel of wood just to buy a loaf of bread. The Hitler came to power. They told me they put into that. One. I'll give you a quick course on this, brothers and sisters. I'm just showing how we started as niggas, house slaves, and house slaves. Remember, house slaves was their children. Yeah, if you watch Django, that was probably DiCaprio's brother. Whatever his name is, he played that part. Because they're probably the same father. That's why he acted like he acted. And he had field niggas. So we got skinfolk, kinfolk. But we always thought ourselves, right? No, we didn't actually. The house niggas, they didn't feel like it was. At that time, they didn't feel like they was us. They knew they was nigga. My daddy. So then after we got that first, after the so-called Civil War, we got our first burst of energy, right? Then, okay, we start identifying each other. The one wanted to stay on sharecrop, stay with mass. The one get the hell away from mass, got to the cities. We got the blues. I'm moving on quick on this, brothers and sisters. We got two paths. But we still consider ourselves all Negroes, because white folks did. See, white folks said they classified us all as one people. Okay? Then 50 years later, same thing. It's the division getting greater because remember these are white people in black skin. So we got two different natures. So I've talked about that. I'm just going to move on. Then the divide got greater and greater and greater. And now, 50 years later, it's going to be complete. And now the strain is so great that we don't even identify the same. Farrakhan's still trying to tell you, we're saying no, he's trying to tell you because he wanted to deceive us. The measure covered, it would be his job to separate the wheat from the chaff. He said, Elijah told you, you teach both of them. The measure covered, his job would just separate them. And that's what it is right now. So we identify two different ones. We want to leave here. Farrakhan says he wants to stay. Move on. That's where we are right now. Just listen to him.
I believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Waterford and I have had disagreement. But his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't you go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.
Let's see how they feel about us. About us.
When the Muslims were alive, I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you as hell now on both sides. Yes, sir, brother. Yes, we are. That's real, brother. Both sides. That's real. When we were alive, we set up schools. That's right. When we were alive, we had supermarkets. We owned buildings. We owned farmlands. We were busy doing something, hiring our people. Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
You think about the devil, master? You think about you, both sides, male and female. Messiah talking. One brother, sisters. That sound like the person that's leading this direction? Because if you believe this, every 50 years, when men choose in heaven and earth, all of a sudden the universe is contracting, getting energy wave, faster every 50 years. And we see what pattern. And we're at 50 year time, that means a big change about to happen, the flood. Why a flood of energy? Why they run right to the flood? Because it's too much for them, they can't handle it. It blows, see, for them, it's too much energy. It blows fuse. They don't have the discipline to handle that much energy. We do. We got the same amount of energy, but they don't have discipline to handle it. They're low energy people. So only they can rule when everybody has no energy. So how would this one sound on this side? You can see he's not going home. And the music, like our attitudes, music of victory. It's going. You're gonna hear a new sound of music. It's like Motown came out of nowhere. I was there. One day it was there. One day was what's the name? Sam Cooke. Not Sam Cooke. The other guy. I can't think his name. And the next day, man, it was Say it loud. I'm black and proud. Hey, brothers and sisters. And this is what the message of the covenant is talking about. We're going home. 40 years, as the covenant says, we return home to Arabia, between the river Euphrates and the river Egypt, which is Arabia. 2019, begin our journey home, our transition home. But they resist. Instead of be plagues, one of the plagues would be kill the firstborn to pass over us. That was COVID. Just go and check. Something's happening. Just go and check. World Health Organization, they try to hide it. Didn't affect Black Africa. It didn't affect Haiti. It wasn't affecting you either. It was affecting the demons. It was killing Farrakhan and his people. It didn't affect me. That's one of the plagues. You got a plague of flies. Maybe I should talk about that this week. Plague of flies, I identified that years ago. I said plague of flies, these ancestors be the so-called fake Jews. Now all this is, they say, oh, they cause all kinds of problems for America now. All the division, right? That's what's there, the plague of flies. They cause all the division, they probably Charlie Kirk, and they cause America these wars and so forth, so on. And people saying, hey man, why did you plague of flies? We'll get America into a world of random in it. They're going to keep getting plagues until we get out of here. Move on. Time to go, brothers and sisters. Time to go home. That's the message of the covenant. See? Sound like what Farrakhan's talking about? Farrakhan's going against the scripture 100%. Let me read a couple of these things, but
1. Now after the death of Moses the servant of the Lord it came to pass, that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, To Moses my servant is dead, now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou, and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. 3. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. 4. From the wilderness and this Lebanon even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. 5. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee, I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. 6. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them. 7. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee, turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. 9. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest.
you notice that, brothers and sisters? Not guns, not bombs, the law. Why? Because if you understand how pressure works, that is the power. Discipline times energy equals power. It's more powerful than atomic bombs, all that stuff. But see, that's why I tell you. It didn't say Jesus is going to help you. Well, I'm going to help you. It says the law. Obey that law. Don't do it. Stay 100%. The more you put into it, the more successful, courageous you be, and no harm, no weapon form will prosper against you. But you understand that. Because you understand how the universe works. Jesus is not going to save you. Allah is not going to save you. You have to save yourself. That's why people lost for lack of knowledge, not lack of faith in Jesus. Lack of knowledge, not facing Farrakhan. He's not even telling you this. Plus, how is he going to save you? He's going to save his ass. He says, God, when I was forsaken, was who? How did somebody save his ass when they blew his ass with them radiation pellets? And he did it on purpose. Because it was accident. They doctors. Even so, if he was protected by God, it should have been no accident, right? He's cursed because he's robbing the nation. So he had no. It says, obey the law, not the 10 commandments. I'm gonna show you the law. You obey that, and once you understand how that works, the mathematics of it, it's no harm because greater pressure overcomes lower pressure. If our reality is based on pressure, the only thing you need to know is if our reality is based on pressure, all you need to know is how do I maintain higher pressure than everybody else? And nobody can touch me. If my pressure is greater than anyone else, no one can touch me. That's the way prayer. It's just simple as that. But you don't understand that. They're not telling you that. If they knew, they wouldn't tell you. It's discipline times energy equals pressure equals power. Same thing. Well, power is actually pressure under control. You're controlling it. So it's not really quite exactly the same thing. Move on. I'm going into more detail probably tomorrow. I'm going to focus on this. Now, this tells you that you have a choice. There's no such thing as free will, but you have a choice between you want to manage your energy, listen to the message of the covenant, you ain't asked for anything, you don't want your money, or you're going to follow Farrakhan and American dream and that's big Jesus. That's the choice right here. Neither one of those will give you power.
And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee, to and shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart, and with all thy soul. 3 That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity, and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. For if any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. 5 And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers.
This is knowledge and the wisdom. Not getting from Farrakhan, or just have faith in him. Okay, go with that. Or just believe in Jesus. Go with that. How's that been working? That's what it tells you. Obey that law. Not God's going to help you because you obey the law. No, it didn't say that. If you obey, you'll be prosperous. Say, well, I'll make you prosperous if you obey the law. It didn't say that. I'll make you prosperous. So, no, you obey the law and you'll be prosperous. You'll be successful. Be bold. Didn't say, oh, if you obey, I'll bless you. Didn't say that. You have to do it. Like I say, if you go to the gym, you get muscle. Oh, if you go to the gym now, if you just go to the gym, I'll bless you with muscles. That work? But you have to bless yourself. By going to the gym, you create the muscle. By obeying the law, you create a force field around yourself that they cannot penetrate if they have lower pressure. Period.
See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. 16 In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply, and the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. 17 But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shalt be drawn away, and worship other gods, and serve them. 18 I denounce unto you this day, that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land, whither thou passest over Jordan to go to possess it. 19 I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. 20 That thou mayest love the Lord thy God, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life, and the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them.
Yeah, it is, brothers and sisters. But you understand that. But you understand the man, if you survive, you save yourself. Jesus can't do it. It's not because he gave you information. That's why he sent messengers and prophets. Otherwise, you just lift you up, but you're an ark yourself. No, he tell you had to build the ark. He didn't say, oh, if you listen to me, you survive the flood. No, you got to build the ark. You got to do it. I mean, God, you say he created heaven over 6 days, right? I mean, he could just say, be it is, and the ark pop up. See how stupid that is? Why he make Noah build an ark when he could just say, hey, Noah, I love you, bam, here's my ark. Go for it. But when Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Get the hell out of town. They had to do something. But see, right now, this is the problem. We got the demons mixed in with us. So it's neutralized. Both of us been neutralized. This was Suleiman's job to take and separate them out. Get ready to Pharaoh's demons. That's the first battle. Battle's about to take place. Exodus, right? He went to Aaron's camp, separated the Levites out of it, and then wiped out all Aaron and his people. No weapon that's formed against thee will prosper, and every tongue that rises against judgment shall be condemned, because you're righteous people. You're not wicked like Pharaoh kind of trying to say. No weapon will prosper if you apply this law. Because it's about pressure. Man's heart feelings, we talked about that, right? And recital. Well, I talked about it yesterday. I'm not going to do it right now. Injil. This is your discipline gym. This is what I talk about. You apply this, you go into that gym, you start working that equipment there, and your discipline increases, your stress decreases. Because stress the stress you feel is because the pressure externally is greater than yours. Devil's pressure is greater than yours. Their power is greater than yours. So therefore, you stress. Depends on how great it is. The difference depends on how much stress you're under. Maybe it's stressing you're in jail for 20, 50 years. Maybe you're sick. Maybe you got diabetes. But wait. Every day, I don't experience stress. I was stressed a long time ago. I haven't experienced stress in years. Because I know this. I don't live a stressful life. Neither does my wife. Stress-free life. Because you apply this. The more you apply it, all of a sudden the stress starts moving. Because now the pressure, if the pressure outside is great, that means it's squeezing you. You're busy crushing you. That's the stress. But if you start pressure on the outside become greater than the pressure on the inside, the pressure inside quit, then all of a sudden you start growing and the pressure start equalizing. That's why you no stress. And if your stress become greater, then now you start feeling euphoric. See, they try to fight stress with drugs and stuff. But that's why you think Michael Jackson was taking, because they under stress. They had the money. That money didn't stop relieve them from stress. So they try to take drugs. But drugs do not relieve stress. It just make you don't feel the stress while it's being crushed. It's like somebody giving you a morphine or giving you anesthesia, right? And they crush you to death. You don't feel anything, but you got crushed. So you want to go that way. Drugs, liquor, all that stuff, just make you don't feel the stress, but you're still under stress. But you apply these, and the stress starts disappearing because you get your power gets stronger. You right. Mass time, discipline times energy, you get power, right? Pressure, and you can greater. After a while, you don't feel the pressure on you anymore. And you get euphoric because now you're greater than the pressure around you. So I'm going to talk about this in more detail tomorrow. The 5 pillars. You climb those 5 pillars. The more you climb, the Quran says if you climb even at night, like, right now I got a lot of things to do. So I do it once a day, for a significant period of time, right? Like Master Muhammad, he did what, 5, 6, 7 hours, 6, 7, I think 6 to 8 hours a night, walking, pacing back and forth. That's what Elijah Muhammad said. He recite. It's the recital part. Right? I practice the whole thing all 24/7. But the recital part, right? I do what's sufficient for me to get things done. He did it 6 to 7. Wow. 6 to 8 hours a night. We're just reciting. The more you put in, the more you get out. So here's your gym. Go at it. Tomorrow, that happens, I'll go into more detail each one of these. Remember, this covers your whole existence. They're attacking you right now on all these levels. And that's why, because you don't have any protection. Let's look at a couple of them real quick. See, mind confusion. See, the angel gives your mind back. Understand the consequence. Consequence is the most fundamental force in the universe. I mean, you can call it alive, if you would, because it's the most fundamental law in the universe. It's an equal sign in mathematics. They give you confusion. So you don't know about discipline. You don't know about power. They give you Jesus. Christianity tell you don't need discipline. All you need is Jesus. Go with that if you want to. How's that working? That's what they're attacking you right now. So they're attacking you right there on that level right now. Once you get the angel, anybody that's studying angel, that stuff goes away. They're suffering anymore. They know how they were suffering before they got the angel. The confusion they were suffering before they got the angel, they feel that stress anymore. If they really get the angel, that's proof right there. They got that piece of equipment right. That problem more because our people suffering this problem right now. We got another one. Lots. Fear. People suffer from fear too. Once you start applying this, get the angel, you start lots, fear goes away. After a while, you don't feel any fear. I feel a lot of pressure from fear. Fear this, fear that, fear of losing their job, fear of relationships, all kinds of fear, fear of the cops, everything else. Once you get, you gotta be careful. You're like, I was this sister I know. She got in a conflict with cops. She just started talking. She had no fear. That's well. I say, well, come on, you ain't afraid, but you can still be smart. Yeah, I'm alone, right? Because I mean, you just. I suffer that problem myself because my wife gets on my case. I do stuff. She said, "Well, how do you do that?" I just say, "I just don't have any fear." Right? She get nervous, but she don't, not anymore. But she used to. But she's cool, calm now, boy, because she started making all slots stuff, really doing that stuff. She makes me nervous sometimes because she's so cool, so mellow. Anyway, problem is, and that's one of the weapons. Remember, they attack you already. They attack you on these levels right now. They attack you right now with the music and the drugs right now. You don't understand how they're doing it. But once you make this, that weapon don't work anymore. The confusion weapon don't work anymore. You got danger, you got slots, the confusion weapon doesn't work anymore. And then you got this. So I'm going to leave it here, bro. Says I'm going to pick up on this tomorrow. Everything goes okay. Hold on, bro. Says I got to check something. Okay, bro, so I'm going to close here. You're being attacked on these levels now, but it's going to be degraded from the volume. Okay. And so right now, we don't have protection for these things right now. And it's going to be 10 times worse in a minute. But if you apply these things, nothing will happen to you. Your hair will be harmed. You wouldn't have to worry about food during tribulation because Master Muhammad, it actually says you got manna from heaven. We'll give you that, but that's it. And you got to have thorough knowledge of something. That means you have to understand these things. Apply them. If you had stuck with Elijah, you would avoid the tribulation, but you didn't. Okay. So right now, these are things I'm going to talk about in more detail hopefully tomorrow. Then energy. The demons got us colliding with each other. They're the ones that stop us from getting Hajj. I believe it, dear brothers and sisters. Pick up tomorrow, hopefully. Assalamu alaikum.
We have a lot of that going on, so we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Well, you heard that. Donald Trump is a believer in eugenics. He believes that white people are the superior race. And inner city is code for black people. And he believes black people cannot now work on the farms. I guess they're not good enough for that. So Hispanic people can do it because they have the backs for it. This is what this man is saying out loud in interviews. He is a racist. It's been proven time and time again. The man had Mein Kampf on his bedside table that he would read at night. Enough to let you know where he stands on that. Just more outrageous, racist things from Donald Trump. They want to arrest those who can do the farm work well until their backs give out. And then he'll probably ship them to El Salvador or some other country. Just more vile statements from the president and let you know where he stands.
When they were arresting people for praying outside of abortion clinics. I mean, I do think the UK, and I say this as, someone who is half English, I think it's reached, or it is quickly reaching a point where democratic reforms are going to be pretty tough because of the demographic change. And that, of course, the point of importing all these people is to overwhelm the people who live there who disapprove of the program. So you don't have to care what they think because you just bring in new people, and their will becomes all that matters. And so I don't think you're going to fix these things through elections at some point, probably pretty soon. And I just worry a place like the UK, Canada is another, a bunch of different countries in the West are at the point where they're literally revolutionary. They are poised for revolution, and as someone who really doesn't support revolution and hates violence and hates civil war above all, I'm worried about that. I mean, I don't see how this is fixed. Starmer, who's, he's just an instrument of larger forces, but he's a poisonous character, obviously, who's really hurt your country. He's in there for, 4 more years. And so you wonder, people are going to start to get really radical in a scary way. I think this is going to happen. And the people in charge don't seem to care.
Well, you're already seeing it. You are seeing the anger beginning to manifest itself. And I completely understand the anger. I don't, like you, I abhor any form of violence. But I do understand the anger when you have, Keir Starmer campaign, I'm going to smash the gangs that allow these little boats to come over the channel, delivering tens of thousands of people illegally into the country. And they then get put into these so-called asylum hotels where they're given a pretty good lifestyle. Certainly a far better lifestyle than many people really struggling at the moment in the UK. And of course, far from smashing the gangs, it turned out yesterday that he's smashing new records for the number of people coming in illegally on the boats. It's out of control. And the British public are reaching a point and saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly?
I'm reaching a point and saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go back to their countries of origin, millions of people, and you need to do it really soon. And are they actually willing to do that? I don't know, but these are existential questions that we have been browbeat into ignoring for decades. But the question is is Ireland Ireland? If it's majority non-Irish? Oh, shut up, they're Irish. No, they're actually not Irish. Same with the UK, same with England, Scotland, Wales. It's all changing so fast. Nothing like this has ever happened in all of history, except when, say, the Mongols swept across the steppe and raped everybody. That was true demographic change on this scale. But even that wasn't as profound as what we're seeing in every white country around the world. I would say the West, but Australia and New Zealand also. So, what is that? Now, my brain is not big enough to understand what that is. I have a lot of theories about it, but I don't know if they're true. All I know is what the numbers are, and that's real, and no one feels that he can say it. Everyone's like, oh, well, if that were happening in China or India or Malaysia or Senegal, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? The population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, King's College Law School, and look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just let your eyes tell you the truth for once. This is a total change in population. Is it better? Is it worse? Can't have that conversation. Who's pushing this? Does the population want it? The population clearly doesn't want it. There's no polling that's meaningful on the subject. There's no referendum on it. You don't get to decide. You've got no voice in it, other than you get to go to jail if you complain loudly enough about it. What is this? I think it's the biggest and darkest thing that has happened in the last 1,000 years, for sure. And I think it's leading somewhere really, really bad. It's not happening by accident, that's obvious, because it's only happening in white countries.
I think that...
Oh, shut up, white supremacist. In fact, I'm not a white supremacist. Well, I'm just noticing what the hell's going on.
I think most people I've spoken to about this in the UK, most people have always viewed the UK to be a very tolerant, multicultural, cosmopolitan place to live. That's why so many people want to come here. And people have no problem with that. And it's been very successful for a long period of time.
But it's multicultural? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country? Is Sharia law What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country? Is Sharia law every bit as valid as English common?
No, people don't want Sharia law here. No.
A lot of people do. Wait, hold on. I don't know what you mean. Multiculturalism itself is the lie designed to subvert a society. No, a society has a culture. You can argue about what it is or ought to be. It's not necessarily the same as race. It's connected to race, but it's not the same. People from different races can buy into your culture. That was kind of the beauty of the West. But a multicultural society is not sustainable. There's
your society is
one
about
culture will dominate.
Hang on, surely the United States of America, given the very way it was created, is the epitome of a multicultural society. And my point I was going to make to you was,
it's absolutely not. No. It's a multiracial society.
Yeah.
Though it was not actually a multiracial society up until pretty recent. It's just like 90% white for most of its existence, but whatever. But you did have different peoples, you had different religions. That was all totally fine, but there was one culture, it's American culture. There's no such thing as a multicultural society. It's not sustainable. One culture will overwhelm the other. Again, it's not the same as race. It's not identical to race. It's connected, but it's not the same. But multiculturalism is by definition insane. No, it's never happened. It never will happen. One culture will predominate. It will impose its values on everybody else. I mean, the gay thing, which was not a thing 40 years ago, gay was a slur, all of a sudden becomes multicultural there. There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
It's true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
They evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You don't pick one God in every society. Sorry.
Your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments? Right, so your own values, as determined by the Founding Fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
If you're rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's
determined by the Founding Fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So those values can evolve.
There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
They evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You don't pick one God in every society. Sorry.
Your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments? Right, so your own values, as determined by the Founding Fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. Natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
If you're rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's multicultural, we can all live and have radically different values, that's just not true. It's never been true. It never will be true. So you're going to have one culture, one worldview predominate over another and dominate and suppress all dissent. That's just what it is.
But I would point to the United States of America and the United Kingdom as two shining examples
albeit not completely without their flaws, the shining examples of places that are deemed by the rest of certainly feel that about my country.
Well, I certainly think that inherent in Christianity is the notion of tolerance, and that draws from a core Christian concept, which is free will. You cannot force someone to convert. There's never been conversion by the sword in Christianity. People decide to believe in it. And so that is central to the religion, therefore it's been central to the society. Western civilization is Christian civilization, and so we call that tolerance. It's a respect for your inherent God-given right to make a choice about what you believe. Okay, so of course, that's always been a feature. My only point is, a society has a commonly agreed upon set of beliefs, rules, and laws that are the definition of the society itself. That's what society is. So you can't have competing. You can't have, gay world and Sharia world living co-equally in a society. That does not happen. It will never happen. You have to pick one. Are we the Sharia society? Are we the party time gay rights society? Like, which one? And you can't face that reality, so you're just sort of snoozing along until the inevitable point where you can wake up and be like, my values have no bearing on what our society is anymore, because we've been invaded by other people with a totally different worldview, and they're now in charge. And that day is coming very soon for your country, and maybe it'll improve it. I don't think the UK could be a lot worse than it already is. It's this kind of disgusting, sad, self-hating, suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English person, but that day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architect. That's a choice that we're all going to face. Suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English. That day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architects of mass migration. Sorry.
I would question your characterization of my country as a sad, disgusting, suicidal nation. I feel none of those things. I feel very happy to be in the United Kingdom, and I feel that there are lots of very happy.
Our system, the Western system, which is very distinct from the Eastern system, very distinct, and it's distinct on this one precise point, we believe, and have always believed since this country was founded, since your country became, not a pure monarchy, but even when it was a pure monarchy, the belief in the West, because of Christianity, was the worst thing you can do is punish the innocent. That's the worst thing you can do. That's worse than not punishing the guilty. And we often said that to each other. We no longer say that because there is a pretty concerted effort to blur the meaning of these terms. But I'm not going to be deterred from defining words precisely. Terror is murdering people, killing people, punishing people who committed no crime. Period.
So when the Israeli government says it has repeatedly that even though over 20,000 completely innocent children are believed to have died in their response to what Hamas did on October the 7th at the hands of the IDF, there are many on the pro-Palestinian side who say that Israel is behaving like terrorists too in the way that they have gone about conducting this war. Would you go as far as to say that?
One of the things that I really object to now is this relentless focus on Israel, which, by the way, is a foreign country that I have nothing to do with.
We've done this before. Now, maybe today things are different, and we will end up living in a nation that is sharply divided and may ultimately produce something else. But I'm an American. I love my country. I want to see it stay together. I'm interested in social cohesion, which means that I think our laws, customs, and culture have to be dominant. We can accept some diversity on the edges, but not fundamental division. I think we're in a state of fundamental division. So when I bring up Sharia law, I've sat in many discussions with many people that said, well, I don't care what people look like. but I do care about Sharia law, and I don't want that practiced anywhere near my family or in my country. And that's something you should be aware of. So the notion that someone can come here and say, well, that's part of my religion and we're going to abide by Sharia law, they're going to find serious resistance and opposition in the country. That's It's because it matters. It's this thing we call societal cohesion. Nations do not exist on their own. They have a core population. Our core population from the very beginning was always at least 80% European and Christian and about 15 to 20% African. But when you start bringing in huge numbers, millions, who are fundamentally different from the core population, you are going to get violence, anger, and conflict. How many times have you heard people say, if you bring people in from the developing world, what do you get? The developing world. And now we've got that. You can't bring in hundreds of thousands of people from Somalia, plant them, of all places, in Minnesota, and then be shocked that, no, they're not Americans. They're not really interested in being Americans. They're foreigners living on American soil. Nobody wants to say that publicly. If you do, oh, well, you're a racist. Well, you know, the world is full of racists. The real war that's going to decide our fate is not going to be fought anywhere overseas. It's going to be fought right here inside the United States. Are we going to survive as a republic, as an English-speaking republic that rests on the foundations of Western civilization? Or are we going to become something else?
One point that is
The Constitution was completed in 1789. I think we had 5 million people living in the 13 British colonies. We were 90% white, that is excluding the Africans who were in the country who had been brought here as slaves. But we were 90% white, we were 90% Protestant. And this may be hard for you to believe, but the people that wrote that were trying to protect all of the Protestant sects from a state church on the model of the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church. That's one of the reasons it was almost 100 years or more after that before people began to finally accept Catholicism as a religion, because it was viewed as political power. My point to you is the Constitution is outdated. The way we are governed is outdated. It has to be re-examined. Nobody in 1789 imagined that anybody would come to the United States except another lunatic, religious fanatical Protestant who hated the Church of England. That's what people feared. That's what they thought of. The Constitution that we have does many good things, but I would argue that the Bill of Rights is ultimately more important. The Bill of Rights is vital and essential, and that needs to be defended. But the Constitution and the way we govern and the things that we're doing, it's out of date. It doesn't fit our needs. And that's back to my comment on something given has no value. You have to earn it. And we haven't made anybody earn their place in this country. I'm talking about people like me that have been here forever. My first ancestor stepped off the boat in 1681. So we've got to get back to some notion of national service, because national service promotes national integration. It addresses some of these problems that you're discussing. Now, I know that you may not want to conform and may not want to be as I am, but I'm an American and nobody questions that. Nobody ever will. If you don't want to stand out and be questioned, then I suggest that you change your appearance, because I don't think it's life or death for you to wear what you wear.
I think this conversation
It's not fine, because it's leading to violence that could have otherwise been avoided. You see, every great nation, every large nation can always accept some number of people into its ranks that are different from them. It's always been the case. But if you suddenly import millions, which is what's happened here and happened in Europe, then you threaten the core gene pool. What I'm trying to tell you is there's a problem. And we can all think that there isn't, and you can insist there isn't, but that's the view. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to address it truthfully and openly. Stop pretending it's not a problem. It's a problem.
I mean, what's also a problem is white supremacy, and that's
No, because you're saying you're different, you're going to remain different, and you don't think that if that's not compatible with being an American, then the hell with it. That's what you're going to do.
Well, then what do you make then of, white American people who convert, let's say, to Islam and choose to cover? Are they not American anymore?
Listen, if they want to do that, that's obviously their business. I don't know how many are out there that do that. I think again, it's ill-advised. I think you have to hold the society together. There has to be an agreement on certain things, customs, culture, way of life. And unfortunately, if you're going to practice rigidly a brand of Islam that demands certain things, and this is why I asked right off the bat, do you support Sharia law?
I'm a Muslim. What being a Muslim means is I follow the guidelines of my religion, which is a peaceful
Does your religion dictate to you Sharia law?
My religion dictates to me to be a good human being, to be good to my neighbors, to
that the most powerful force in today's Republican Party is represented by what Charlie Kirk said. It is this drive to make America a white Christian nation. I got to tell you, this is what they say privately. This is not what they say publicly. This is what Charlie Kirk said publicly.
And Joe, again, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because you know these people very, very well. Yeah. You said it yourself. You were one of the strongest voices. You were one of the folks who understood the incendiary language when you were in Congress, when you had your radio show, and how people loved when you did it. And then when you chose to apologize for that and turn away from it, oh my God, they literally have just tried to destroy you because of that.
Yeah, again, you know the deal, Roland, right? I came out publicly against Trump 7 years. For 7 years, I put up with death threats on a regular basis. Nobody is welcome in that party unless you bow down to what this force is, this MAGA force. And again, look, there have been some people on the left who've celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Shame on them, be better people, but this is much worse, Roland, what my former friends are doing on the right, because they are turning this into a holy war. When you say we declare war on the left because of what some 22-year-old young guy did in Utah, and then you declare war on the whole left, that's a lot worse than celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder, because that's dishonest, but that's also inciting hate and violence. And Roland, look, Trump's an idiot. So yeah, Trump says the left, the problem in the country is the left. J.D. Vance is not an idiot. What did J.D. Vance say today, right? He was subbing for Charlie Kirk on his radio show, and he spent the entire show going after the left, going after them, they, them. Man, Democrats need to wake up, Roland. This is a really serious deal by my former colleagues. The stuff that I hear privately from them right now, Roland, for the last 5 days, they want to go to war. This is a holy war.
Oh, it absolutely is. And what really jumps out at me on this very thing here, Joe, and I've been saying this, I played the speech 2 weeks ago that mainstream media just ignored, of Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt, who gave a speech at NatCon, Peter Thiel's group, where he literally gave a white nationalist speech, where he said our ancestors fought for this country to be ours and no one else. He was talking about white people. He was basically saying if you are Black, Latino, Asian American, or even Native American, America is not for you. And folks just ignored it. And so people need to understand, again, what they're saying, why they're saying it. And yes, there are many evangelicals, any very conservative white Christians who are pushing this as well, and you nailed it. They want a holy war. They want a race war. They want this to be a white country. It is clear as day.
And Roland, really important point, Charlie Kirk at only 31, the impact he had because he was one of the most successful pushers of this white Christian nationalistic idea. And so I think that's why all of his defenders are out there so strenuously denying he said anything divisive, because they know if you really go through Charlie Kirk's public record, everything he said about people of color and Black women and Muslims and gays and transgenders, if people took the time to go through all of that, and that was put out for average people to see, they'd be blown away by it. That's why his defenders are like supercharged right now. They don't want that record to be seen.
Today, you mentioned, and I mentioned as well, Vice President J.D. Vance sitting to do his show. And listen to this man just blatantly lie, Joe. Play it.
I read a story in The Nation magazine about my dear friend Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War. George Soros' Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words. He made an argument against affirmative action as a policy. He criticized a specific Supreme Court justice as an individual. He never said anything about Black women as a group. He made an argument for judging people of all races and backgrounds by their own individual merits.
Bullshit.
Okay, Joe, this is actually what he said.
No, Roland, that's utter bullshit.
In fact, you know, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color.
All right, Joe, he literally said it. Not only that, Vance lied. Soros does not fund the nation. So he sat there and flat out lied.
And Roland, remind me, what's J.D. Vance's job? He's the vice president, and yet he had time today to do a radio show for a former right-wing podcaster. I mean, look what they're not even, Roland, they're not even subtle about it, what this White House is doing. They believe, man, the path to victory is fear, hate, and division. And that's what they're putting out there. That was Charlie Kirk literally going after 4 accomplished Black women by saying they didn't have the brain power to get where they got. This is what he believed. And this is what MAGA believes. And that, again, Roland, broken record, that's why Charlie Kirk was so damn successful. Why he had such a big audience.
Yeah, and not only that, you take Nick Fuentes, who's to the right of Charlie Kirk. The night of or the day after Kirk was shot and killed, Fuentes had 200,000 people watching him live. And so what you have this fervor. And so when I listen to Trump and Vance and all these people talk about, how the left, they're indoctrinating. No, and you know this very well, the indoctrination. We've had people who formerly are with Turning Point USA put out videos talking about how it was really this cult-like figure, this messianic figure that they sort of set Kirk up as, and how they want them to follow that. And so that's what's going on here. These people are not trying to have open dialogue. And not only that, Joe, you take Trump, okay? Trump was very clear in saying he was not going to call Governor Tim Walz after those 4 folks were shot in Minnesota. 2 were killed, including former Speaker of the House and her husband. Now today he's saying, he never even heard of Melissa Hortman, and if the governor had asked him, he would have, of course, lowered the flags to have staff. I'm sorry, he's also lying. He knew about her. He knew about the shooting, but he was so arrogant that he said, 2 Democrats, a Democrat Speaker of the House, shot and killed. Yeah, I don't care, but lower the flags to have staff with Charlie Kirk. Flies body on Air Force 2. Do a memorial service at the community center. Do another one at the Arizona Cardinals Stadium. Give him the Medal of Freedom. And I'm telling you, they're going to give him a state funeral. That's what you're seeing right now. And then you got Peter Hegseth going after members of the military who said anything negative in the aftermath of his death. You've got Kirk supporters creating a database of people of every social media post, and then even Vance saying in the podcast, you call their employer. So the so-called free speech people all of a sudden are saying, if you say anything negative about Charlie Kirk, after what took place last week, we're going to come after you, come after your job. I thought they hated cancel culture, Joe.
Yeah. Roland, I remember back in my right-wing radio days, I would come on every day, and there was always some story about some leftist group on a college campus that couldn't handle speech that made them uncomfortable
to say.
Roland, this is scary, and you and I are old enough, man, to remember huge figures in American history who were gunned down, struck down, military leaders, civil rights leaders. We are treating this 31-year-old podcaster, MAGA influencer, like he's Jesus Christ. So I come from the right. Why are my old colleagues and friends on the right doing this, Roland? Because the right wants a religious war. Let's just call it. They want a civil war. They want a holy war. That's why they're putting him up to be some Jesus-like martyr.
Absolutely. I mean, Glenn Beck literally came out and said he was a civil rights leader. Oh my God, stop it. Stop it. I've seen people say, I've seen a lot of these videos, I'm leaving my church because my pastor did not mention him. This was a Christian warrior. And let's just be clear. You said it, white Christian nationalists. It's a slaveholder religion. We heard a lot of this stuff during slavery, during Jim Crow, things along those lines. And this whole idea about, it was about debate. It was about, exchange of ideas. I mean, come on, let's just stop it. And so we see what's going on here. We see the games that are being played. And then what gets me, Joe, is this whole deal of, oh my God, the left, how they indoctrinated him and the accused killer going to a university. The dude was at a university for 1 semester, Joe. You're trying to tell me that 1 semester at a mostly white institution in Mormon, Utah, which is not a liberal bastion, somehow just radicalized him? I mean, it really is showing folks the hand they're trying to play.
Yeah, and I think even on top of that, Roland, I think it was like some technical school. So it wasn't some crazy liberal arts school for a semester. Look, cut through all the BS. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has publicly said that America should be a white Christian country. This is what animates my former party. Roland, you know me, right? Tea Party Hellraiser. I don't come from the left. I left the Republican Party when the Republican Party became MAGA. And my fellow Democrats and folks on the left need to understand, now these people are on the right. Now this is MAGA. MAGA now are the snowflakes. MAGA, Roland, they now need their safe spaces. It's funny, but it's not funny. And you're right about J.D. Vance, man. He just flat out lied. I mean, the last 30-year history of political violence in this country, the vast majority of it is right-wing. It always has been. And they put out this lie that it's only on the left. It's not even, Roland, a both sides problem between the left and the right. There is political violence on the left, but the vast majority is on the right, and they know that, and they're lying because they're trying to inflame their base. And Roland, I hear from their base every day, and let me tell you something, they are inflamed. I mean, they are ready to march and grab their you-know-what. This is a scary time.
It is, and folks need to understand what is certainly at stake. Joe Walsh, I appreciate you joining us on the show.
History of the cross, known by their works. What's the history of the cross? Behind the history of the cross, murder, rape, destruction, deception, enslavement, burning, terrorizing. To maintain a slavery system, you must terrorize the people 24/7. They terrorize people from Africa and America for 400 years. Constant terror, 24/7, rape, murder. In the name of Jesus. This was Christians, not Buddhists, not Hindus. Christians, in the name of Jesus. They said Jesus cursed black people. They call them Ham, cursed them to be slaves and persecuted forever. In the name of Jesus, raped our women incessantly, pissed in our mouths, made us eat shit. And they took and tried to clean up, I get, well, not clean up, but make it look more attractive, I guess, by calling it chitlins. That's after slavery, of course, after so-called slavery. Because what they do was not slavery. Look up slavery. Look up slavery. It does include murder, rape, terror. This is a Holocaust. And then now they try to downplay it. Oh, that was 40 years ago. No, it wasn't 40 years ago. How could it have been years ago? It was 20 years ago. It lasted for 400 years. It's enduring today. They took everything away from the slaves. Everything. Their name, their culture, their families, their religion, their minds, everything. Fed their children to alligators as alligator bait. And then they talk about what's going on in Gaza when they did 1,000 times worse. What's going on in Gaza now is simply just a miniature version of what they did. What they did was far worse than what's going on in Gaza. Gaza's bad. It's genocide. What they did was far worse and much longer. That's a legacy of Christianity. Murder, rape, disease. They wiped out the native population. The genocide and disease. Smallpox blankets. Knowing there was full of disease. Herpes, syphilis. Gonorrhea from seabird animals. So-called common cold was not common. Didn't exist here on this side of the world until they brought it here. Murder, rape. When it was raping out women, there was a cross hanging from their neck. And again, they taught that there was God's will. God's will. Enslavement of our people. And they continue on even today. That's the legacy of Christianity, the cross. So where's your rap sheet? Every time they arrest our people, your rap sheet. What's your rap sheet? Are you going to judge people for murder when you're guilty of murder beyond imagination for hundreds of years? Hundreds of years. Theft. He stole his land. He murdered his people. And you question the native people here. When the braves would go out hunting, you would come into the camps like cowards and kill women and snatch the children's brains out on the hooves of your horses. This is the legacy of Christianity. That's the legacy of it. The question is, instead of Columbus coming here, Dracula came here, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Satan, they all came instead of Columbus. What could they have done that Columbus and those that followed him did? Satan is the God of this world. That's the God they're serving. They have known by their works. What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? Evil, deception, mischief, bloodshedding. It goes on today. What's going on in Gaza, just reflection and microcosm of what was done here in America for hundreds of years. Raped our women incessantly. They would even rape while they was out in the fields picking cotton. They would jump off their horse and tell them to bend over and rape them. They told them to keep picking cotton while they was doing it. This is the kind of stuff they would do. Make one slave defecate and slave and sit and slave in the mouth of another slave, and then bound it up so they couldn't spit it out for 7 days. That's a legacy of slavery. You did it all in the name of Jesus. There's a legacy of slavery. Legacy of slavery. 40 years plus. Legacy of Christianity. The legacy of the cross. That's the legacy. That's the true legacy. So who's working those? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? Legacy of the cross. What's your rap sheet? America? Gog? What's your rap sheet? Magog? Britain? What's your mention? What's your rap sheet? Antichrist? Falls Israel? What's your rap sheet? Then they colonized Africa. They're stealing and ripping off everyone. It's the legacy of Christianity. It's been ruling for over 500 years. And now, the threat of nuclear war. To finish off everything. That's a legacy of Christianity in the name of your Jesus.
How's we gonna make it? Sure, you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Sure, you ain't talking about that, are you? We ain't going back to Africa. No. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their way. Come out of their pagan holiday. When you should be honoring Jesus, you are buying bunny rackets. Invite your children to paint eggs for some Easter. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus of your house and a tree. That is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Of her name, come out of her religion, come out of her culture, come out of her way of life, come out of her educational system. You
and they was put all the shores of North and this ship, Jesus, down the halls, brought out their ship. They stood and said, it is a carriage. And therefore, I wanted to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put all on this memorable shows, they took them, scattered that ship that brought them to a strange land, and these strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country. Strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the West Indians that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that were destroyed. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here. I don't know how we should sing in the name of Jesus of good for us. When this ship was made of Jesus, this is how that we have always been deceived by the white man. Trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to our a mental sleep, thinking that we all are waiting. This is church. My brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to people to sit today. Imagine ourselves standing in front to return to that native land and people and you yesterday, trying to save the very minute that brought us in subjection to that will. You and I, turning your face from your ordinary land and turning it back towards our prison house and our and who have destroyed us and seeks to destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They're trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you in your past. Do you feel? I do so. And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There's no justice here for you and me. Why did it not do what to be separated and be returned to the Lord? I think that push. They go with your parents on the eastern shore of North crying and praying to God to be returned to that arm 400 years ago. How would you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemned for being such fools as now? To live in the land that absolutely enslaved them until they were defeated for 300 long years here. They were condemned as fools. When I wanted to be separated, they go to the bottom, salvation for his son. The white man said he will remember that.
how's we gonna make it? Sure, you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Sure, you ain't talking about. No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. Your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their way. Come out of their pagan holidays. When you should be honoring Jesus, you are buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to pay for some Easter. Come out of it. Get the Santa Claus of your house and trees. That is the way of the pagans. Come out of it. St. Valentine's Day. Is that? Excuse me. Come out of a name. Come out of a religion. Come out of a culture. Come out of a way of life. Come out of an educational system.
People. And they will put all the shows of Northern and this should Jesus done all this for our parents good. They stood and said, it is a parent in the old wisdom. I wanted to return with the hands stretched out towards that ship and tiding chains themselves bound together. And when they was put all on this memorable shows, they took them, scattered that ship that brought them to a strange land, and these strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country. Strange people who had told to them every bow from their native land that they were going to be the West Indies that they were living with. They were going to be the people that were destroyed. They soon discovered that all this ship that they were being brought here. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us. But this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the name Jesus. The name Jesus to our a mental sleep, thinking that we all are leaving this is earth. My brothers, this is very hard for us to even today. Imagine our parents standing in front to return to that native land and people, and you here today, trying to see the very that brought in subjection to that will. You know, turning away from your ordinary life, turning back towards our prison house and and who have destroyed us and seeks to destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your peace. They're trying to make love with the people that destroy you in your past. Do you feel? And even today, there are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There's no justice here for you and me. Why did not you want to be separated and be returned to your? I think that was. They know where your parents are. The Eastern Shore of crying and praying to God to be returned to their arms 400 years ago. Are you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemned for being such fools? And now, what to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as fools. When I wanted to be separated from to your arms and occupation for your son. The white man said he opened it. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Salman Rahim here, Professional Covenant. Okay, brothers, this has been a year now, and We found him home after 40 years in Arabia, and I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Found him home after 40 years. It's been a year now. There was an agreement made from slave master. Said, your choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance. Arabia. So we left. And if the original people decided they wanted to give up the inheritance and traded for a place in America. Reconciliation with their former slave master. It's their choice. They chose, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go over there sand and all that stuff. We want to stay in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with a slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we get reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. They got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. They was following this in Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, they stay there, 6 states, right? Their own land. And they can make reconciliation with one slave master. They're not devils, not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, they were just, there's some things wrong, but now they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody paid $1 million. Thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. And you got 6 states. That's your promise us. We got 6 states. We're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. I mean, this was a year ago. 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. They're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago. We left. So we're in Arabia. They're still back in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, he says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And just those 6 states. So, and now they were big and massive. They came asking each other power. Why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling about 6 states and never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So these big man massive, can you come out and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told them 6 days of promising that he would have prepared them for, right, their schools and education, whatever they needed. But I guess they didn't, because they said, oh, wait, now he's begging the former master to come and turn the power back on. Then what? This is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later. It's like, they're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? It's a crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no, they looked at the farmers, when they're doing, farmers said, oh, so then, master, what's happening here? How come no, crap? It turned out that the rain they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, how's it going? Crop failure. And now master, what's going to happen here? Right? Then, I mean, all these things, every hour that's coming in, right? And then they look, and they had, a year ago, they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? Now, they look there now, and all the food's gone. They're gone, and she said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't produce your own food? I mean, you want your own country, you got your own states, that's your country, then you run it. What are you calling us for? So they're praying, and then, oops, no fuel. But there's no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. You got your reparations. So we don't owe you anything anymore. So what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of the inheritance, what you call Abrahamic covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left, they took that was all for them, they took it. And you said, no, I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh, man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on? And I said, wait a minute, hold on a year. What you calling us for? That's yours. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff's coming every hour, and instead of like a year, they were celebrating, and now they're crying, begging the master of grace. We got all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's your solution comes about your problems. You have to work those out. No transportation, I mean, no planes or nowhere. I fly the planes and drive trucks and boats and stuff, and you go and get this stuff. What you done this for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and get to train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats, and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you got for? Well, Master, you said you wanted 6 states, you got it. You want $1 million per person. That was the reparations. So that if you never pay people to take care of this, how's that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, eh? No gas. Yes, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. Everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So guess what happened? Everything was good when they got it, and it ran out. They had to replace it, the fuel, the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. the factory was full, house full, and you had to keep, they thought that was just gonna, I guess they thought it was just gonna be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See? And they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They didn't train anybody. So Farrakhan, he told you he don't get this for you, but he don't pay you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So man, he asked the master, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you want to have reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, calling your brothers over there, they left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? Don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? That's what, because if you want to set reparation, you should be paying for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be paying for it. If he said, God said that's where he's going to get you, so God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, told him to build an ark, he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states, and the reparations, apparently you didn't. So now, it tells you, look, hold it. We want total separation. Look, we don't want you call us no more. We don't want you call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You run your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1 million, all this stuff, right? So now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. That's all economics. So they're going to tell all the people, all the white folks, right? All the black folks, all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. It'd be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, that kind of stuff. That's the deal. He said one or the other. So all the black folks are here, ain't no integration, that kind of stuff. Right? Was it one or the other? So they're there. So they said, okay, right? So they just said, we're going to take our money because we don't know what y'all doing over here. You have your own money, you have for your own wealth. So they do this. They tell all the white folks, say, protect your money. Right? Transfer your money into gold. All your dollars into gold. Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million apiece. So everybody got $1 million apiece, right? They say transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. Just start printing money. You understand what that means? It's inflation. Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, say $1 million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1 million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1 million ounce, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. If you want to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold. But if you take and print, say you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates. Each one, but say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now. But you got to connect that to the gold. You print 4 times, then each one is worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they work, because those certificates have to equal what the gold is. See, so the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, then less gold. You understand? So $1 is worth 1 ounce of gold. That's right. Then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's printing money without increasing your wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is, they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. See, that doesn't affect their people. They try to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. Still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You get $1 million, now $1 million worth of $5. That's all it's worth. Make $1. Hardly worth anything. Otherwise, budget, hey, that's our money. You gotta have your money, you gotta control your wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they will do that? You've been a gossip lately? You see what happened to the trees they made, the so-called natives kept telling me a fault time because they kept making trees, but then they broke the trees. They took their land and genocide everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you bury it up, it's all away, it's worth nothing. You still got gold, and even if they take it, hold on, the money hope to increase again, then you use another certificate, use another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. The $1 million you had, you was unhappy with now, it's probably worth maybe $1. So you can't buy anything $1. Plus the economy's crap because everything is failing and you don't know how to repair it. You don't have the communications, you don't have to do any of this stuff. You're an engineer, but how should I know anything? Because it's our company. Right? He didn't know how to prepare you. He told you to give 6 days. He told you, listen to me. Right? Now, you're broke. The economy's gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything. It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You still have to inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you're going to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. As you chose, you stay there. They closed the border so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you call your land now. Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe call it Farrakhan. Farrakhan. You got the Farrakhan. Right? So they close the borders, you can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else, your money's worthless. Oh God, I come back, man, I come back, work for you, I work for Popeye, I do anything you want. No, blacks, either they were in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, any places, just in that land, and those that you 6 days. And then you're starving, you ain't got no, your money's worthless, nothing works, and they close the border. And you see Mr. Anthony on the phone, he talks to the guy, you get paid to help you. He finally got rid of niggas. Finally got rid of them. So he sitting on the phone, yeah, it worked. We sold them in Revelation, we put them that said used car, they turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. They could have had a BMW, they could have had a Lamborghini, they sold it for a BMW. Good, damn thing didn't work. Now, it's starving. Living in tents. Praying. So what? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything we asked for. What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do? Pray. That's his answer. Pray, pray, pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, in a big picture. Leave him, the blacks stay on the shore, the ones stay behind, and they was whooping their ass. But they all thought you think they would give you some land to take care of you? And they wouldn't do that. They go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million, you know what it was? It was 17 million, that was 17 million times, 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that. What are they going to do anything for you? They want to get rid of you. So now they have to see it. Because they close the border, what you going to do? When you want to fight to come out? They close the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One goes out of here, and those goes here. They're gone, and I have to clean. And they what they wanted. Or anything. God honors contracts. Remember he honored the contract with Jacob. He sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob. It was Esau's inheritance. And God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Pharaoh ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. This homeland you was promised, you never rejected it. So now you got what you're here for. So they gave you reparations today or tomorrow. How would that scenario not play out like that? What? It's okay, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they can say, okay, we're going to take care of him. And I said, why did they take care of you when he was right here? He was working at Popeyes and then they get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here. Because you know they're trying to get rid of stuff right now. Trump's trying to get all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening in America. Wow. Of course, coming there. It's a disaster over there. I just got a call. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know, they call it Conland or something. I've got something called out there. That's his thing. They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them? Bring them? Oh, no. And he even asked, there's Master Fard Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. I agree with that. Yeah, the bastard said he's called him and he passed the word to Master Fard Muhammad. Master Muhammad said, send him back. Listen, no, we can't come and get you. You chose, you made your choice, live with it. Or die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't do that. They actually sent a message over. Well, they did, I have a communication, but somehow they got the information over to them. Said, would you please come and get them? Nope. No, tell them no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land, you got your reparations, you got your money, you got Farrakhan as your leader. Yeah, tell them, talk to them, let them straighten out for you. You want to sell your idea, you have to sell them. So you want an idea of reparations, we told you. Right? Suleiman, he was the messenger to you, telling you, look man, let's go home. You said no, you chose not to. Okay, Okay, well, since that's a side story. Guess that's it, is that it? Oh, they might get more reports. Okay, he says that was Matthew Muhammad's final decision, and I think we closed communications off from there. So that's it, brothers and sisters. We got those guys that came in. All that came in today. I mean, I came in fast. After a whole year. Total collapse. They're begging it. Somebody help me. We can't do it. They didn't ask to help you. We won't do it. That's not what we do. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in. They said, well, if you won't come and get us food, we at least send some food. They begged them, please send some food. That's what I'm saying, I'm gonna send a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send some food. This guy that in, he says, can you come and get it, please send some food. He says, no. Refuse. That's the report. I just got the information from the ambassador. He said that he's ready to meet. He says no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no, go no way. You made your choice. Case closed. Just got that in, bro. It's just, that's not like him.